be the presenter po this afternoon. The topic assigned to me is about sustainability and scaling up strategy for our subject, advanced project planning and implementation. So to start, sustainability and scaling up from project implementation to sustainable and scalable public value. Effective public sector initiatives should not end when a project cycle concludes. Rather, they must evolve into sustainable system that continue delivering public value. In public administration, sustainability and scaling up strategies ensure that successful programs are institutionalized, financially supported, and capable of expanding their impact across communities and governance structures. So when we're talking about sustainability in public sector project management, sustainability refers to institutional sustainability, the integration into formal structure, policies, and mandates. It's also about financial sustainability, predictable and diversified funding system, operational sustainability, continued service delivery beyond project life, political sustainability, stakeholder buy-in and leadership continuity, social sustainability, community ownership and inclusivity, and environmental sustainability, long-term and ecological responsibility. For sustainability in public sector project management refers to the ability of initiatives to maintain their impact and service delivery beyond the initial implementation period. It encompasses institutional, financial, operational, political, social, and environmental dimensions, ensuring programs are embedded within government system and supported by stakeholders. So when we're talking about institutionalization, true sustainability begins when a project becomes part of the institution to sustain it. For public sector initiatives to create lasting impact, they must move beyond temporary projects and become embedded within government systems and policies. Institutionalization ensures that programs are formally integrated into organizational structures, supported by policies, and sustained through continuous capacity development. Institutionalization, to ensure long-term viability, I've included here three important points. Number one is policy embedding. Integrate project outputs into local ordinances, executive issuances, or agency mandates. Align with the National Development Framework or the Philippine Development Plan and the SDGs or the Sustainable Development Goals. Number two, organizational integration. Assign permanent units or personnel responsible for implementation. Develop standard operating procedures or SOPs and include performance indicators in agency scorecards. For number three, and the last part of the institutionalization is the capacity building. Continuous training programs, knowledge transfer mechanisms, succession planning to address leadership turnover. We also have here the financial sustainability. To ensure a long-term viability, meron din pong 3 points that I'll be giving here. We have here the budget institutionalization, inclusion in annual investment plan or AIP, multi-year budgeting, and medium-term expenditure framework or MTEF alignment. Number two, revenue or resource diversification, national government grants, public-private partnerships, development partners, and cost recovery mechanism, if applicable. Number three is cost efficiency mechanism, digitalization to reduce operational cost, shared services models, performance-based budgeting. We also have here the stakeholder sustainability. Change begins in perception. Number one, community ownership models, participatory monitoring mechanism, feedback loops and grievance systems, partnership with CSO or civil service organizations, the academe and private sector. Monitoring and evaluation or M&E continuity, institutionalize key performance indicators, create sustainability matrix before output indicators, integrate existing government monitoring and evaluation systems and periodic impact evaluation. Scaling up strategy, The true value of successful public programs lies not only in their results, but in their ability to be replicated, institutionalized, and expanded to benefit more communities. We have the three different types of scaling. Scaling up in public administration is not merely expansion, it's policy diffusion, replication, and system integration. We have the horizontal scaling, or we also call it replication. We have the vertical scaling, or policy integration, and functional scaling. For horizontal scaling replication, its goal is to expand to additional geographic units, inter-LGU adoption, and benchmarking models. For example, a digital tourism information system developed by one LGU is adopted by other cities or provinces. Or a waste management initiative piloted in one barangay is expanded to other barangay with the municipality. The purpose of this is to spread proven models to more locations. I just want to share an example. Last time po we had a competition or an award rather in the Philippine Councilors League. Ang title po is the Gawad Galing Lokal na Batas. It is an award for different councilors and lawmakers here in the Philippines to showcase their best ordinances in different LGUs. The goal of that particular program is for it to be replicated by other cities. And for scaling up, for horizontal scaling or replication, this can be a best part for us to create more programs that are actually good for replication. So in public administration side, very important po na we know this particular good things or key pointers that we can actually showcase to other cities or other part of the public. The other one, we have the vertical scaling, policy integration, adoption at provincial, regional, or national level, institutional reform, legislative integration. Example of vertical scaling is a local tourism development program is adopted as a provincial tourism policy. And example number two, a successful community livelihood initiative is institutionalized through a local ordinance or national legislation. The purpose of vertical scaling is to integrate programs into official government policies and system. Number three, we have the functional scaling rather, addition of services or components cross-sector integration. Examples, a tourism promotion program expands to include in in training for local tour guides and hospitality workers. The other one, a community tourism project adds environmental conservation and cultural heritage programs. And the other one is a digital tourism platform expands to include online booking system, local products, marketing and visitor analytics. This purpose to enhance the program by adding new function or services. Like what you can see here in this photo po, this particular photo of a member of the PWD or person with disability na group, um, nagkakaroon po sila ng additional na function. Some of the people kasi they don't understand po that different programs of the government can create more jobs. Hindi lamang po doon sa mga normal or mga abled, kung tawagin natin yun, but even to all those people who are differently abled. It can have a cross-sector integration, and even this particular PWD here can be part of the scaling na before po when we are talking about this, when we're talking about PWDs, ang trabaho lang po before ng mga PWDs ay nagmamasahe, namamalimos, but through functional scaling, they will be given more value, they'll be given more opportunity, hindi lamang po sa work, but even in the whole sector and even the Philippine when it comes to creating what they call this, creating jobs, right? Letter B, we have the preconditions for scaling. Preconditions for scaling refer to the essential conditions that must be met before a program or project can be expanded successfully. Okay, we have Political sponsorship. A mayor or governor or national agency officially endorses and supports the expansion of successful tourism initiative. We have the fiscal feasibility. The program expansion is supported through LGU budgets. And for number four, administrative capacity, the implementing agency has trained personnel, operational systems, and clear produces to manage a larger program. And the other one is regulatory alignment. The program complies with existing laws, government policies, and development frameworks such as PDP or the Philippine Development Plan or SDGs. And these preconditions ensure that scaling efforts are evidence-based, politically supported, financially viable, administratively manageable, and aligned with regulatory frameworks. For scaling model, we have the phase one. This is scaling model framework. Phase one pilot implementation. We have the control testing, baseline and outcome measurement, and then risk analysis. For phase two, model refinement, process improvement, cost benefit validation, and stakeholder adjustment. For phase three, we have the institutional adoption, policy proposal, budget integration, capacity strengthening, system-wide expansion, replication of toolkit, implementation manual, performance benchmarking system. The next one here, we also have the risk management for sustainability scale. Okay? It's very important po for us to have our risk management for sustainability because through identifying the risk, we will be able to create a strategy for us to mitigate this particular problem. So the risk here, number one, is political turnover. This is the first risk. The mitigation strategy should be legal embedding, bipartisan support. Number two, we have the budget cuts na nangyayari po sa marami pong mga government agencies. For us to have this, the mitigation strategy is diversified funding, phase implementation. Number three, in every project, there is stakeholder resistance. So mitigation strategy is participatory planning. Number four, we have the administrative overload. The mitigation strategy for this is phase scaling, capacity mapping. And for number five, mission drift, clear theory of change. For us to understand the risk management for sustainability and scale better, for example, political turnover. A new mayor may discontinue a tourism program. Embedding it in a local ordinance help ensure continuity. For this particular part, we all know that this happens not just in one LGU but a lot of LGUs or even the national government level. Kung ano po yung maganda pong ginawa po nung nauna pong administration, we don't replicate. Kasi po, most of the people, no, they don't replicate because most of the people or most of the politicians, ayaw po nilang may maiwan na pangalan yung nauna pong mga namumuno po sa kanila, particularly if they are not in the same party. So the best thing for us to do it, we can create a local ordinance to help ensure the continuity of one particular project. The other one, number two, budget cuts. If LGU funding decreases, the project can seek grants or public-private partnership to sustain operations. This is our subject last semester or last school year. We already talked about public-private partnership, and this is one of the best way for us to mitigate yung tinatawag po natin na budget cuts. Number three, like what I've mentioned kanina, stakeholder resistance is very evident when we are producing one particular project. Particularly po if they don't know much about that particular project or they don't know kung paano po sila magbe-benefit. So, community members opposed tourism projects, consultation and participatory planning help gain their support. It's very important for the what do you call this? For the stakeholders or community members to know kung ano po yung pros and cons and what are the benefits that they can get from this particular projects that we're implementing. The other one, Administrative overload, rapid expansion overwhelms staff. Phased implementation allows gradual scaling. Like what I've presented po kanina, very important po na hindi po tayo ganun ka rapid when it comes to expansion. Kailangan po face-to-face po ang implementation. And for number 5, mission drift, a tourism project, for example, shifts away from sustainability goals. A clear theory of change keeps the program alive. Okay? Indicators for sustainability and scaling. For sustainability indicators, percentage of project institutionalized in annual investment plan, number of permanent plantilla positions must be created, policy or ordinance adoption rate, and stakeholder satisfaction index. The other one, we have here the scaling indicators, number of LGUs adopting model, replication rate per year, cost per beneficiary reduction over time, and integration into higher level policy frameworks. Now, to end my discussion, the sustainability of the project rests on its institutional embedding, fiscal integration, and stakeholder ownership. Scaling up will follow a phased replication model anchored on evidence-based evaluation, policy alignment, and administrative capacity strengthening. By transitioning from a project-based intervention to a systems integrated governance mechanism, the initiative advances long-term public value creation. Sustainable public programs are not measured by how they begin, but how long they continue to create value for the society. Yung mga projects po natin sa government, madali pong gumawa po ng mga proyekto. The only problem po that can actually be seen by a lot of people is the sustainability of one project. So it's very important po for us to think sustainably and create value for the society in every project that we are doing in public. And that would be all po. Thank you so much. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you so much to our presenter. No, sustainability of government projects and activities in our country specifically refers to the ability of public programs, infrastructure, and development initiatives to continue delivering benefits to communities even after the initial implementation phase. Sustainable government projects are designed with long-term economic, social, and environmental consideration, ensuring that resources are used efficiently and the programs remain functional beyond political terms or administrative changes. In the Philippine context, now, sustainability is often integrated into national and local government planning through frameworks such as the Philippine Development Plan and initiatives aligned with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals or the SDGs. These efforts emphasize responsible governance, accountability, and strategic planning to ensure that public investment create lasting value of citizen. Because one critical factors affecting the sustainability of government projects in the Philippines is the effective coordination among national government agency, local government units, and the community stakeholders. Programs related to infrastructure, healthcare, education, disaster resilience, and environmental protection require continuous funding, monitoring, and community participation. When local governments and citizens actively support this initiative, projects, of course, become more resilient and adaptive to changing conditions. So transparency, proper financial management, and performance evaluation also contribute to sustaining public programs, ensuring that the resources are not wasted and the outcomes remain aligned with national development goal. Despite these efforts, several challenges still affect the the long term, or the still affect the long term sustainability of government initiative, because it includes political transition, sabi nga ni Sir kanina, that may alter policy priorities, so limited financial resources, bureaucratic inefficiency, and weak monitoring mechanism. To address these issues, no, the government increasingly promotes institutionalized policies, data-driven planning, and stronger partnership with private sectors. So, academic institution and civil society organizations strengthening governance system, improving accountability, and encouraging community engagement are essential strategies to ensure that government projects continue to produce meaningful and sustainable benefits for Filipino communities. So what are the possible solution for this, no? To this concern, no? The concerns most commonly, no? I think, I believe, no, one possible solution to concerns about the sustainability of government projects and activities in the Philippines is the institutionalization of policies and programs through legislation and long-term development plans. Kasi nga, kapag bago ang nakaupo, iba na naman yung projects. When projects are supported by clear legal frameworks, they become less vulnerable to changes in political leadership or administrative policy priorities. So national and local government agencies can also integrate sustainability principles into strategic planning, such as through the Philippine Development Plan and local development investment programs. Through establishing clear policies, performance indicators, and long-term objectives, government projects can continue even after leadership transition, ensuring continuity and stability in public service delivery. Pero may issue dyan, ano? Kasi ibang project, iba na ang nakinabang ng 10%. Sorry, hindi naman lahat. Okay, kung ikaw may proposal ng ganitong project, binago mo yung bagong project, panibagong 10%, panibagong budget. Hearsay lang naman, hindi naman ako taga-government agency. So another important solution is strengthening governance, transparency, and accountability mechanism in the implementation of public programs. Because I believe, no, effective monitoring and evaluation system help ensure that government projects achieve their intended outcomes and use resources efficiently. Tools such as performance audits, no, may mga ISO tayo, digital monitoring platforms, no, meron kayong mga IPCR, OPCR, sinusulat ba doon talaga kung ano yung totoo? And citizen feedback system can help detect inefficiencies and prevent corruption. In the Philippine setting, collaboration among national agencies, local government units, and oversight bodies such as Commission on Audit contributes to improving financial management and ensuring projects remain operational and beneficial to communities over time. A third solution, possibly, no, is the promotion of multi-sectoral partnership and community participation in government initiatives. So, sustainable projects are more likely to succeed when local communities, private sector partners, academic institutions, and civil society organizations are actively involved in planning and implementation. So public-private partnership, community-based development programs, and stakeholder consultation can help mobilize additional resources, expertise, and support for government initiative. So, strengthening these collaborative approaches not only enhances project sustainability, but also encourage shared responsibility for development, ensuring that government programs remain responsive to the real needs of our communities. Okay, so I think that's it for this topic. Thank you so much to our presenter.